Hey, today we're talking about why tourists disappear in certain countries. Picture this, you're on the vacation of your dreams. The beaches, perfect. The food, life-changing. Your Instagram looking so good, even influencers are jealous. And then, poof, you're gone. No dramatic goodbye text, no eerie final selfie with a cryptic caption. Just disappeared. Now, we're not saying this to scare you, okay, maybe just a little. But this isn't some wacky plot from a Netflix crime doc. This actually happens. In certain countries, tourists vanish without a trace, and while some cases have logical explanations, others are straight up unsolved mysteries. So today we're diving into 5 countries where tourists have disappeared and why. And don't worry, I'm not just gonna say, they disappeared and nobody knows why. The end. No, no, no. We're getting into the gory details, so grab your popcorn, maybe rethink that solo backpacking trip through uncharted territory and maybe keep the lights on. All right, let's start with Peru, home to Machu Picchu, adorable alpacas, and the Amazon rainforest, which, fun fact, does not mess around. Peru's got some of the most stunning landscapes on Earth, but it also has a jungle that's basically nature's version of the Hunger Games. If the mosquitoes don't get you, the jaguars might. Case in point, in 2019, a German tourist went missing while trekking in the Peruvian Amazon. 1 minute, he was enjoying the sights. Next thing you know, gone. Search teams looked everywhere, but no trace was ever found. Theories: he got lost, got caught in a flash flood, or encountered a very hungry member of the local wildlife. And if you're thinking, well, I'll just stay in the cities, great. Just keep in mind that places like Lima and Cusco also have their fair share of crime. Tourists getting pickpocketed, common. Tourists getting mugged in an alley after ignoring a local's warning, also common. How to avoid becoming a missing person in Peru. The jungle is not a DIY adventure. Go with a guide, preferably one who knows the jungle better than Google Maps. Stay in safe areas. Exploring should not involve walking into unfamiliar neighborhoods alone at night. Keep an eye on your stuff. Your phone is worth more than gold to pickpockets. Next up, Egypt, land of pharaohs, the Nile River, and ancient wonders. Also, a place where tourists have disappeared in some pretty mysterious ways. Take the Western Desert. It's huge, unforgiving, and basically nature's way of saying you should have stayed near civilization. In 2015, an American tourist vanished there. Officials say he might have been caught in a sandstorm or got lost in the extreme heat. Others think, let's just say some areas in Egypt are very, very off limits. Oh, and let's not forget scuba divers disappearing in the Red Sea. Strong currents? Probably. Ancient underwater curse? I'm not ruling it out. How to avoid becoming a missing person in Egypt. The desert is not your friend. Don't go wandering off alone. If a place is restricted, there's a reason, probably a very good reason. Scuba diving? Maybe stay close to your dive buddy. Unless you want your next adventure to be a Discovery Channel documentary. Mexico, home to incredible food, beautiful beaches, and occasional cartel-related disappearances. Look, most of Mexico is completely safe for tourists. Places like Cancun, Playa del Carmen, and Puerto Vallarta, big tourist hubs, heavily monitored and generally low risk. But then there are the no-go zones and bus. In 2023, a group of Americans went missing near Matamoros. Authorities believe it was a case of mistaken identity by a cartel. Some were found, but the whole situation was a giant flashing neon sign that says, "Do your research before you go." How to avoid becoming a missing person in Mexico. If your taxi driver tells you not to go somewhere, listen to them. Stay in tourist-friendly areas. The further off the beaten path you go, the higher the risk. Don't flash expensive stuff. If you look like you just walked out of a Rolex commercial, you're doing it wrong. Thailand is a dream destination, gorgeous beaches, street food that will change your life, and a nightlife scene that could go from best night ever to where am I and why do I have no shoes in minutes. One particular place though, Koh Tao. Ever heard of Death Island? Yeah, not the nickname you want for your vacation spot. Over the years, a number of tourists have gone missing or died under suspicious circumstances. Authorities usually call them accidents, but locals and expats aren't so sure. And then there's hiking in Chiang Mai. In 2019, a European tourist disappeared while trekking alone. Weeks later, authorities found remains, but there were way too many unanswered questions. How to avoid becoming a missing person in Thailand? Avoid Death Island? Seriously. If a place has that nickname, maybe go somewhere else. Don't hike alone. You're not Bear Grylls. Stay with a group. Party smart. One drink too many and suddenly you're starring in a real-life survival story. Last but not least, the Philippines. Over 7,000 islands, stunning beaches, and some places where things can go south quickly. One major concern, Mindanao. It's in the south, and certain areas have seen kidnappings and disappearances linked to extremist groups. Then there's the weather. The Philippines gets typhoons, earthquakes, and volcanic eruptions. In 2020, a group of hikers disappeared near an active volcano because, hiking next to a volcano is always a great idea. How to avoid becoming a missing person in the Philippines. Stick to the tourist hotspots like Boracay, Palawan, and Cebu. Check weather reports. Typhoons don't care about your vacation plans. Avoid high-risk areas. If the State Department says don't go, maybe listen. Do tourists disappear? Yes. But it's usually because they ignored common sense, underestimated nature, or ended up in the wrong place at the wrong time. While our list of countries ripe for vanishing in highlights potential dangers, it's important to recognize that millions of tourists still visit these places annually without incident. By taking proactive measures, travelers can significantly reduce their risk. How to not go missing on vacation. Do your research. If a place has a bad reputation, there's a reason. Stay in touch. Let someone know where you're going, especially for solo trips. Stick to reputable guides. You're not starring in an adventure movie. Trust your gut. If something feels sketchy, walk away. At the end of the day, the world is a big, beautiful place with way more safe destinations than sketchy ones. So whether you're chasing waterfalls, climbing mountains, or just trying to find the best street food, travel smart and trust your instincts. So would you visit any of these places? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and travel smart. See you next time. Blast off.